hugely.
And so this is some exercise stuff. I'm a big Pilates person, but that's the kind of stuff that they like you to do. And these people are over 90 years old. They're like up on the roof kind of stuff. It's amazing.
Going to work, is that going?
And then vitamin D is getting some sunshine. It's in southern Mediterranean, so they get good sunshine. Not too much, but enough.
Movement really does.
And then sleep is very important.
Movement, stress reduction, and stopping smoking is more powerful than any drug in preventing heart disease, treating heart disease, and improving one's physical state, emotional state, mental state, and longevity.
And then he is Dr. Noakes, who is doing a big project in South Africa called Eat Better South Africa, reversing the diabetes that they're having there by simply putting coconut oil in the mush that they have. So let's see. So anyway, Piapi is amazing. And then, so I got to live it, and then my goal with all my patients literally is to make you, and a lot of you are my patients, to make you younger next year, physiologically, if you're leaner, fitter, more flexible with balanced strength. So this book is very good. Then there is also new thinking in medicine. Before it was like we were the, the high priest, and you guys were down here and we were up here. But really, medicine's going to flip because, and it already is, and it should, is that that you guys can get the knowledge. You guys are smart. You can figure it out. So I really want to be more of a coach and someone that kind of can get you through the medical maze. I say that the internet is the information superhighway, but it's not the knowledge superhighway. If you Google anything, you have cancer. that's just what it says. I mean, and so to me, what I want to do is help you get through that, give you some reasonable resources, create some new resources, and go from there. So it's getting very excited. And then the home run is going to be the patient will see you now. In the old days, the doctor will see you now. But you guys are in charge. You guys have the knowledge. You have little Fitbits and data. You want to know what those numbers mean, and we can help you with that. And then the theory is that you don't necessarily have to come to my brick and mortar place. We could do it remotely. I mean, frankly, my goal is to only see you once a year to just kind of high five you, and then but communicate with you more often. Let me know how you're doing. We can kind of do that. And that's really the future, is going to be telehealth. And then The Evolution of Medicine is a very, very good book, and we'll give you the names of all these. But it really is, that's where I got the idea of these meetups. And we do movie meetups. So those of us over 50 can't remember our Netflix password. I mean, come on, admit it. And so we have to get together and have one young person in the back teach us how to get on it. But this is going to be the exciting part of medicine, is where we're kind of all doing it together. When you look at those places I talked about, the blue zones, they don't have the best doctors, they have the best community. And we could have the best of both. We could have the best doctors. I know I'm not that smart, otherwise I'd be in La Jolla or Newport Beach. I get it. But I'll at least be the hardest worker, and together we can all do quite well. But this is quite a good book. And then I highly recommend you all, this should be your book of the year kind of thing, which is called Undoctored. Because that's the goal. I mean, I'm very foolish. I'm trying to get rid of you guys as patients, but I want to empower you. This is the doctor that did the wheat belly. And he's showing you how you could take control of your health by doing the stuff we're doing so that we all get better. And then you use me as you need to, but you can be empowered, and I can help you get through the medical maze. And then finally, Jason Fung is one of the top guys out there. He is a nephrologist, and he just got tired of people losing their kidneys to diabetes. So super smart guy, got upstream of it. He's out of Toronto. He did his fellowship out of UCLA. And he came up with the diabetes code. And basically, I don't treat diabetes according to his protocol. I, frankly, reverse it. That's just not your fuel. I once put regular gas. You know how there's regular gas and diesel. I once put regular gas in a diesel engine, and that didn't go well. You go about 2 miles, and it dies. We can run off of carbohydrates or off of the healthy fats. If you're diabetic, you're super sensitive, and if you can kind of transition to a different fuel source, you reverse your diabetes. And then there's a really good book on the psychology of how do you get people to kind of change behavior. And the theory is nudging. You don't like hit them over the head. You don't say, okay, I'm the doctor, you're the patient, do what I say, yada yada. It's like, no, let's just kind of move the needle a little bit. Let's just nudge you. And this is a giant elephant, you know, mama elephant, just nudging the little elephant. And so we can do that now with remote medicine called Fitbits and something called Nudge Coach. So if you wanted to, you could, and I'm not saying to do this, but you could hire me and you could get your Fitbit and or your phone. And if you're good, I can kind of nudge you every day, see how you're doing. If you're bad, I will nag you because I'm, you know, I got to get an A, you know, I'm a pre-med, you know, that kind of stuff. But it's kind of an exciting time where, again, I don't necessarily need to see you as often, but I can communicate with you more often. And it is HIPAA compliant, so it's secure. And so now what I want to do is just kind of show you what we're going to be doing over the next 7 weeks if you want to go with me on this journey. And so I literally have come up with this through my reading and research, and I call it the 7 pillars of health. So I don't think it's just one thing. I think the more of all these 7 you do, the better you do, and we'll go through each one in more detail. But first off, it starts with good nutrition. And again, you could be vegetarian and be very healthy or be very unhealthy. You could be, I have some patients who are just carnivore, they only eat meat. And most of them do very, very well. Some don't. You just have to figure out what works for you. And we can give you the options. And I think that's the key, is that you have options. You should think about what you're doing. If you're not the best version of yourself, if you're not lean, fit, flexible, with balanced strength, maybe you can look at your nutrition. Exercise. Exercise is important, but we've kind of hung our hat. How many here have heard of Jane Fonda? And how many, you know, remember Olivia Newton-John, Let's Get Physical, and all of those sort of things. But unfortunately, exercise is not the end-all be-all. I'm a sports medicine guy. I ran marathons. I like exercise. But when it comes to weight loss, frankly, exercise is like brushing your teeth. We brush our teeth because it's healthy, but we're not disappointed if we don't lose weight when we brush our teeth. Same with exercise. Unless you do 10 hours a day, exercise isn't going to do it for weight loss. And most of us will sort of rust out before we, and will wear out by doing all of that. So I've had surgery on both knees. I mean, this is the challenge. That's why there's an epidemic of hip replacements, knee replacements, all those things. So you want to exercise, but be reasonable. And if you do the lifestyle stuff, you actually don't have to exercise that much to do very well. Sleep is very, very important. I did a whole TEDx talk on sleep, and we'll talk about that. So sleep is literally, quote unquote, a wonderful drug. But we live in a very sleep-deprived world. And I have a ton of people that need medicines for that. Well, if you give an elderly person a sleeping pill, you double their risk of hip fractures. So first thing in medicine is don't do any harm. So we can do some non-pharmacologic ways to improve your sleep. Light is super important. We're told don't go in the sun, it'll give you cancer. But we kind of developed with the sun. Now, I don't want people to get sun cancers, but most of the cancers outside from UVA are sort of the ones that they're bad, but they don't usually kill you. The one that kills you is melanoma, and it's higher with indoor workers than outdoor workers. So I just want to introduce you to the concept that we have to rethink light. Everything came from light. Everything is sort of produced by light. And if you have a healthy respect for both the outside light and inside light, you can really improve your health. Water is super important. Most of us are dehydrated. The environment we live in is a low-level microwave oven. You've all seen leftovers put in the microwave. It gets pretty dried out. So water is important, and there's actually a 4th phase to water we'll talk about. So we think we know water, but it's pretty amazing. And then electromagnetism. I mean, everybody looks at their phone 150 times a day. And those of us with gray hair, we didn't grow up with these. We've just had them over the last, say, 20 or 30 years. But, you know, I've got grandkids that are using it right now, and no one knows exactly what it's going to go with them. But it is something that I think we should have a healthy respect for, and maybe do some things to protect ourselves from it. And then finally, community engagement, which is what you're doing here, which is great. So in a nutshell, the thought would be is that we want the best version of you this year. And I think together we can do that. We're happy to help you. I'm very thankful to the medical students for putting this on. It's their project, but I think it's really our calling to try to get everyone to do well. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions.